Hey, what is going on YouTube? This is Nappy Senshi, and I'm back here again with another controller review, and I'm actually really excited for this one because this is actually the first time that I'm going to be reviewing like in one of those like high quality, expensive elite controllers. And the reason why I want to do this is because I always like when it comes to fighting games, I would probably use something like a PlayStation layout controller because I like the D-pad on top with the buttons. I think it's really great for fighting games, and also for some retro games, I also like the PlayStation 5 controller. But for other games like first-person shooters, I would prefer like the Xbox type layout. But what if you can get one controller that you could just swap around and you can use it for all genres of games? That's right. So this is going to be the review of the Thrustmaster eSwap controller. So check it out. Okay, so this is the Thrustmaster eSwap Pro controller box. As you can see, this is actually a really big box, and I am really excited about opening this. Like, I can't even get like this thing all on camera because the box is like really big. But yeah, this is great. I'm actually really excited. So yeah, ready to do an unboxing. So it looks like I can slide this. So this is probably the most expensive product I reviewed, or expensive controller I ever had. I never had like a controller that was over $100 in my life. Kind of thought I didn't need one, but this one I was like, you know what, let's see what it's like to get like a pro like controller, or like one of these like high quality controllers. And one thing I liked is the fact that you can switch like the D-pad and the analog stick to switch them around. So that honestly was the main reason why I got this. But without further ado, open it up. Oh cool, that's a little packet. So Thrustmaster, it comes with a little pamphlet. What are these? Are these? Oh, different joystick sizes. Okay. Looks like they're smaller than the ones that are probably going to be on the controller, but interesting. I'm just actually going to put those back. I always like saving the best for last. That's why I kind of like go for everything else. Then I save the controller for last. So here. Looks like we got a box here, which I don't know what's inside of it, but I'm actually really excited. This is some really good packaging, by the way. All right, so we got the Thrustmaster bag with an extremely long, this uses a micro USB cable. I was not expecting that. I thought that everything went to USB-C. So if I actually use a micro USB-C cable, using a micro USB cable, that's interesting. I really thought this controller would be USB-C, but I guess not. But yeah, I'm gonna set to the side, and it looks like a bag I can put this in. So set this to the side. Also, mini Phillips screwdriver. So interesting. And also, I don't know what this side is for, but it could be useful. I'm actually put this to the side, put this to the side, put this to the side, and let's get to the controller. All right, so ooh, my god. Is there anything else in the box? All right, good. I can move this box. This box is really big. All right, so here we go. Ooh, feels nice. It feels good on the hands. Interesting. So, oh my god, like the ABXY. It's like a mechanical click. Oh my god, yeah, this is really nice. I wonder if you guys can hear this. Oh, sorry, you guys won't be here, but yeah, this thing got mechanical clicks to it, which I like. The D-pad. Oh my god, this actually feels really nice. I'm starting to see why people spend so much money on controllers. Oh, this is nice. I like how this feels. Even though the also the bumpers, really strong clicky to them, like they're really clicky, like that. And the triggers don't feel bad at all. I actually like this like texture like right at the end, so of the left and right trigger. So yeah, this is actually really cool. And of course has the cable to plug it in, which I kind of understand. I understand why like these pro controllers or like these advanced controllers always has plugs. So I'm kind of curious. One of the things that I got this controller, gotta move this plastic off. One of the things I got this controller for was because I wanted to see if like there's a controller out there that I can play for all types of genres of games. So it looks like I can. And actually, hold on, now I got this stuff off. Let's actually feel how the sticks feel. So the sticks feels nice. I actually like that. I definitely like the D-pad. Like these buttons. Oh my god, these buttons feel so good. This is like my first pro controller, so, or like a high quality controller. But yeah. Oh, so here we go. So it's a magnet. So it looks like it's a magnet with copper prongs. So when you push it down the copper prongs, you will be able to sink in. But yeah, actually I'm gonna keep that one here. So the main reason why I got this controller was because I wanted to be able to swap these two, because I noticed that there was a lot of controllers that did the D-pad and analog swap. And I thought that like that's kind of weird, because if I'm going to use a D-pad, I want to use a D-pad. If I want to use an analog, I want to use an analog. And like this will be good for like most games, but then like for fighting games, I probably will take this. And how do I take this out? I don't know. Wait, key. Yes. So that's what this is for. But like I was saying, I could take this key out, and I can put it like this and put it like this, and now I can play fighting games. So this was like the main reason why I like wanted this controller. Also, wait a second. Oh, on the back of it, there is 1, 2, 3, 4 programmable buttons, which that's actually a lot of programmable buttons. And it looks like, what are these? Oh, trigger stoppers. So that way, if you want to get a trigger input, but you don't have to push your trigger all the way down, you could just use these, which is actually really good. So they kind of stop them at like around like 50% of the way. So, I mean, I guess it's good, but don't see the point. Are these buttons too? There is something here. I don't know if it's a button, but looks like it. I don't know. But it looks like these are buttons. These are, oh, these looks like covers for like screws actually. So I wonder if I could probably take it apart. Oh, and the side rails are magnetic too. So that's also another thing with this controller. So with this controller, like they actually sell like separate like sticks, D-pad, and separate like side grips. So like these right now are really smooth, which I honestly don't have a problem with. But if I wanted like a red side rails with like red analogs and like a red D-pad, I can do that. But yeah, like this is really nice. Like I was not expecting this, and oh my god, this is the longest like recording I did for like a controller. I really like this. But yeah, I've been talking way too much. Let's actually I'm gonna start playing some games, and I'll get back to you guys after I play some games, because I'm really excited to use this controller. So let's see how this plays. Using this controller in action adventure / hack and slash games, I really have to say I like this controller a lot. In certain games like Nier Automata, the macro buttons actually came in handy with using Pod's machine gun, so I can easily hold down his machine gun and still able to dodge enemies no problem. Again, I have to say I really like the mechanical clicks on the A, B, X, Y buttons. It really does feel nice. And overall, I gotta say, like, this is easily a controller I can recommend for action adventure / hack and slash games. Using this controller in FPS games, I have to say I really love this controller. The preloaded profile macros was a big help by letting me reload and jump without taking my right thumb off the joystick. The triggers were nice, and the thumbsticks had a nice grip onto them, so it was easy to aim at enemies, and I had no issues of firing. Overall, I can honestly say, like, this is a really great controller, and this is the first controller that I play FPS games where I actually heavily relied on the macro buttons. I solidly recommend this controller. This is a really good controller for first-person shooters. Using this controller for retro games, I have to say this controller is great to use. I switched the D-pad and the left joystick and found this configuration best suited for retro games. Again, I really enjoyed the mechanical ABXY. It really does has a satisfying click. I also enjoyed the D-pad as well. The D-pad was great to use. I can easily recommend this controller for any type of retro games. Using this controller in fighting games, I configured the controller by swapping the left stick and D-pad. This configuration is what's best for me when playing fighting games, and I have to say I really do enjoy using this controller and playing fighting games with this configuration. Once again, the ABXY feels really great with the mechanical clicks, and I also like using the D-pad as well. It has a nice clickiness to it. Now you can go online and actually buy a fighter pack for this controller, which will replace the right joystick with 2 programmable buttons. But honestly, for me, like just be able to swap the left D-pad and the left joystick around is good enough for me for fighting games. I can easily recommend this controller for fighting games. Using this controller in racing games, again, I have to say I really like this controller a lot. The triggers were very comfortable to hold down, and I noticed there was no dead zones on the joystick, so it was easy for me to respond to turns and obstacles while in the middle of a race. I can definitely recommend this controller for racing games. There's no issues with this controller. It's just a good controller. Okay, so let me get into some of the features of this controller. I will have to say the thrust mapping program that you can download off the Microsoft Store is actually a big help. This will allow you to upgrade the firmware of the controller. Also, you can adjust the trigger dead zones, and you also can adjust the analog sticks if need be. And this is also where you can program the macro buttons for both of the profiles. The controller comes with 2 profiles, with profile 1 already being pre-mapped to the ABXY and profile 2 being pre-mapped to the bumpers and triggers. If you want to do on the fly button mapping without using the program, you can by holding down one of the macro buttons and the mapping button, and then the profile light will start blinking, and you can push whatever button on your controller that you want to map that macro button to, and it's easy as can be. Also, I like the fact that you can also get these like red eSwapable packs or color eSwapable pack. For me personally, I bought the red one, and I have to say I really do enjoy it. And it's also another second set of joysticks and D-pad, just in case if anything ever happens with these joysticks, I can easily just swap it back to the other color for the time being, and then I can just replace it later on down the line. Okay, so if I was to give this Thrustmaster controller a rating from 1 through 10, this is actually like my first pro-like controller, just to keep that in mind. And I also like the fact that this controller is cheaper than most pro controllers. I know like the Scuff is like $200 and they have these other pro controllers, but with this controller, for being a module controller, even though it's wired, for $160, I will have to say, honestly, I give this thing a 10 out of 10. I know just because I give a controller a 10 out of 10, it doesn't mean that the controller is perfect. I mean, the only thing I can probably say that they can work on is honestly like the triggers. Even though they are comfortable for me, they do have like a little sharp curve, but that's just me being really picky. But honestly, like, yeah, I love this controller. This controller I can use for all genres of game, and honestly, this is now going to be my main controller that I use when I'm playing video games all the time. Also love the fact that you got swappable parts, even though $50 is kind of expensive, but at the same time, like swapping out joysticks and stuff, it's just a good controller, and this is exactly what I'm looking for. It's the reason why I like got so many controllers, was because I use different controllers for different scenarios, but now I can use one controller for all scenarios. So like I said, this controller gets a 10 out of 10 for me. This is a really great controller. Thank you, Thrustmaster, for making this controller. Okay guys, so that is it for this video. If you like this video, give this video a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me. I actually do have another controller that I am going to review that you guys should definitely stick around to see. So yeah, remember, like the video, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell to know when that video goes live, or whenever I post another random video of me playing games or doing whatever in my life. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.